guys. Welcome to Light Muse. We are your hosts, Flannery Underwood
and Jessica Cabesi.
And today we're talking with Manny Ortiz. He's a photographer and popular YouTuber. And if you've ever searched for any photography-related questions or tips on shooting with Sony gear, you've probably seen one or two of his videos. So Manny, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. So what we always do is we do like a quick rapid fire set of questions. So first question, where are you in the world right now? And describe 3 things that you're in the room with.
I'm in a cave in Chicago, and I'm in my sub cave, which is my office, which I'm in 23 hours of the day, probably.
Sounds like prison. You just described prison.
It pretty much is at this point.
It's like a cave and 23 hours a day.
Actually is.
You get 1 hour rec time?
It's a 1 hour eating time, yeah, just to eat.
Okay, cool.
And what are 3 things in the room with you?
Computers, cameras, and a sofa. For me to
Nice.
pass out for a good afternoon nap.
Love it. Okay, what is the most like common question that you get asked, and what's the answer to that one?
The most common question is, what camera should I buy? And my answer to that is, what do you do? Because there's no easy way of answering that. Like, what camera? You know what? You should buy this one. There's no easy answer to that. So my answer is a follow-up question.
Yes. Your answer is another question.
Yeah, exactly.
And the follow-up question to that question for us is, what is your go-to camera setup right now?
Mine is a Sony A7 III. Is my favorite all-in-one hybrid camera.
Cool. Would you describe yourself as an introvert or an extrovert?
I am the biggest No, I'm kidding. Biggest introvert you'll ever meet.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Big
Is it
time.
okay? So almost everyone we've talked to has all said they're introverted, and 90% of those people, I was like, no way, these people are all extroverted. And maybe it's just because I know you from YouTube, but that actually surprised me. What's one thing that people wouldn't know about you? I guess for me that would be that you're an introvert.
So like my social battery, so it's very limited. You know how you can go to the dollar store and you get those cheap batteries? Like, that's my social battery. Like, I don't have an Energizer social battery. My social battery runs out quick, and when it runs out, I shut down. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel that. And what's your favorite food?
Man, I am such a picky eater. I'm gonna say crab legs.
Steak-
I'm
not
a big
steak?
seafood eater. And no, Jessica, you don't know me enough, okay? Crab legs.
Can we get some
over steak.
backstory on the steak? We went, when Manny was in Japan, we wanted to have him try fluffy pancakes. No, this guy wanted steak. So he went to
Steak
TGI
everywhere.
Fridays. He made us go to
Japan.
TGI Fridays in Japan so he can get some steak. But we respect it. We like steak, right? We support it.
Was it good?
Was the steak good?
It was good. All the food in Japan was good.
That's true.
But you only had
It's never
steaks.
bad.
Yeah.
You only ate steak though.
I'm such an American. Jeez.
True. Okay, so kind of follow up to that one. Where's the coolest place you've ever traveled through your work?
Through my work, well, it was Japan, and I went with Jessica, and it was just a huge culture shock. I've been to many places, cool places in the United States, San Francisco, New York, all the time actually, but Tokyo takes the cake for sure.
It's so different, isn't it? Like, what was one thing that like really shocked you?
This
Oh God.
I know what
So
he's
I
gonna
have-
say.
No, you know what? I'm gonna just say the friendly one. The going to McDonald's was like an adventure.
I knew it.
Every time because you
Yes.
walk in there and it's like everyone's on mute. Like, you have a remote control and someone's like, "Let me press the mute button," and it's a packed McDonald's, but you don't even hear people breathe. People are just like muted. It's so insane. It's so like surreal. You're sitting there with a bunch of people around you. Everyone's just like squeaky quiet. You can't even hear them chew. You know,
Yes.
like it's crazy.
Did you guys get the shake chicken, where you put the chicken in the bag and you shake it at McDonald's in Japan? It's something they don't have in the United States.
I think maybe no, you didn't get that.
No.
He asked
We
for
got
the steak.
like we got the same thing every day. We got like breakfast, the same pancakes every day. And Manny, poor Manny, God bless him. He wanted a cup of water. They gave him the tiniest. He described it as like a shot glass.
It's like a thimble.
No, it's like the dentist. You know when they give you like the little white little to rinse your mouth off with. That's what they give you in Japan. And I asked for like a couple of them, and the lady gives me the dirtiest look. I never got any like. She's the only person in Japan that ever gave me a dirty look. Was the lady that I asked for water. That was her. Yeah, it was. Yeah, very stingy with water out there for sure.
That's so funny.
Oh my god! I think he went down 2 times for a refill because like the cups are so small. I was used to it, but Manny definitely was not. It was his first time.
Yeah,
it was
just
a
because
culture
you're like thimble size as well. One cup of those, Jess is like, oh, that's too much water.
I was freaking out. And then they give you 15 nuggets. Like America, we have 10 nuggets, but they give you 15 nuggets in this little pint, like little shot of water. Like no, like what are you guys like used to being parched? Like. You guys must not be hydrated out here. Like it's ridiculous. Anyways.
No. Okay. Last question. Where can people follow you or find you online?
Manny Ortiz, YouTube, Manny Ortiz, Instagram. And
are you on TikTok?
I do have a TikTok, and I went viral on TikTok.
Ooh,
mind you,
okay.
but then I stopped making videos because I'm just not entertaining enough.
TikTok is a hustle for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I'm not,
what was your viral TikTok video?
It was me putting my tongue behind my throat.
What?
You got 2 million views.
I'm watching that later. Jeez. I thought you were going to be like, oh, some photography tutorial.
Education.
No, not that.
I think we need to redo the intro.
TikTok star.
TikTok star. Celebrity
Manny
who can put
Ortiz.
his tongue behind. Where can you put it? Behind your tongue? Where?
Behind my throat.
Oh, God. Wait.
Is that even...
I can't even...
It's real. It's real.
We believe you.
We trust you.
We trust
It's
you.
happening.
It's happening, you guys.
Cool. So that's the end of our rapid fire. We can kind of go into more of our longer in-depth questions. So my first question that I had for you was, I know you've only really been on YouTube for a couple years. Like, when did you get on? Like 2017? Like, when did you first start your channel?
Yeah, it was 2017. Yeah.
So,
right.
I mean, that was only like almost 3 years ago. And what were you doing prior to YouTube? And then how did you make that decision to start? And how did you get into such like a routine of like posting so frequently?
Yeah. So I was a police officer for a couple years before I started YouTube. I was just tinkering with YouTube. Just making videos. I always had a thing with like being a YouTube star, you know, like behind in the back of your mind, but it wasn't really my intention. I just wanted to tinker with YouTube, and me tinkering with YouTube, I think timing played a big part in it in terms of when Sony started to like really grow. I started using Sony cameras, and I was making videos with Sony, and my channel started to kind of get a lot of traction because of that, in my opinion. And posting consistently, it was like an addiction of posting and getting these views. It was like an addiction to me. Like, man, I gotta get a video up. And right when I edited it, I have to post it right away because it was like an addiction at first. So, yeah.
Jess, you're nodding your head. Did you feel that addiction at the beginning? Do you guys still both feel that, or do you feel like less pressure to like do it at that rate?
Honestly, for me, it's less pressure for me because now I just post whatever I want whenever I want. I don't know about Manny. I have like a schedule. I know you have a schedule too, Manny.
Yeah.
There's like certain days that are better to
That
post.
was like such a
Whoa.
dry. Yeah. What does that mean, Manny?
I don't have a schedule. I personally don't. Like, I kind of just wing it. One video a week, whenever in that week that I can actually, yeah.
But there are certain days that are better to post than others. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I try to post on those days, but the way things are, the mental toll that it takes on you. And we'll get into that later, in terms of everything that goes into it. But yeah,
I already feel the stress coming. As a YouTuber. But I mean, now more than ever, people are watching YouTube videos. It's quarantine. Everyone is sitting home. So you would think it's like prime time for videos, but we were having a conversation about how our videos aren't really doing that well. Even if half the population is like watching, seems
Why do
to
you
not
guys
doing
think
well.
that is right now?
I don't know. I think it's just a photography community, right? You think it's just such a specific genre of photography and YouTube that only certain people will want to watch those videos, right?
I feel like we're competing with so many different other genres that it's like YouTube. It's just because you think people are home, they're gonna just watch your video. Everyone's home. I'm gonna get a ton of views this time, and you end up getting the same amount of views or even less. It just doesn't make sense in my mind why this is happening.
Honest, I've been watching a lot of finance videos on YouTube because of all the coronavirus stuff that's been going on. And I think people do have kind of like a max limit of like how much time they will spend on YouTube before they get tired of watching videos. And so maybe like you're saying, like you're competing with these other genres of like even the news. Like I never watched the news on YouTube, but now every night I'm watching like the news updates through YouTube. Manny, how much YouTube do you consume, like, of other people's channels? Do you watch a lot of YouTube yourself?
YouTube is like my TV, basically. I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube videos all day long. Pretty much.
So who are some people that you follow consistently or you really love their channels?
I follow, so many people. I follow so many different people. I follow from different genres.
Mm-hmm.
I find, I don't even have really a favorite channel right now. I really don't. I follow a lot of different people. I watch a lot of different types of videos, but I don't have a favorite YouTuber right now.
Is there like a genre that you watch that would surprise everybody, like fishing or something, or
mukbangs?
Wow, you guys are way off. Okay.
Doll collecting?
I
don't know. I'm just trying to think of something like crazy that you would never watch. I don't know.
It's not that crazy, okay?
Like the bronies,
gaming.
Like
okay,
My Little Pony.
I like
community. I'm gonna get roasted by them. That's not an insult. I love My Little Pony, by the way.
Oh, I believe it, knowing that you're like an Animal Crossing fan. No, I'm into gaming, like NBA 2K and all that stuff. Like, I'm into gaming, so I watch a lot of gaming videos.
Nice. I mean, yeah. YouTube is like the #1 platform for gaming. I mean, in terms of like the amount of gaming videos, I feel like gaming, photography, and then like beauty stuff are like kind of the top categories.
Oh, for sure. For sure. The beauty community.
Kids
That's
content
what we need to do.
Yeah.
We need to make a channel where it's kids content, beauty. We'll have a kids beauty channel. That's where all the views are. Don't you agree, Manny?
Yeah, I agree. No, I can't even do my own.
Me and Manny were talking about how much, work and energy we put into these videos, and then we upload them and it'll get like 5,000 views in a day. And it's very frustrating. Manny, you were telling me that you uploaded a video and then you took it down because it didn't do as well as you thought. At
this point, I'm like losing the amount of F's that I give is becoming less and less, especially during this. Like, I uploaded a video that is probably the highest quality video I've ever posted. But if you don't post a good thumbnail and title, which sometimes you don't know what's best, you won't get any traction on that video. And it's so frustrating because it all comes down to that. And the people that watch it are happy. That watch it are very like, wow, this was probably your best video ever. But people are not clicking it because of the title and the thumbnail. So it's like, what the hell? Can I just catch a break here? So I took it down. I only got 7,000 views, which is like, I never got that many views in a day. You usually get like 30K, 25, 30K. I took it down, and I'm going to post it up again this week with a new title and thumbnail and just see how it does.
It might do better, honestly, because a lot of the algorithm depends on the title and the thumbnail and the click-through rate for both of those things. So actually, it will be very interesting to see if you get a higher click-through rate and if you get more views the second time around.
Yeah, because the people that apparently people liked it when they were in there, it had a lot of comments, had a lot of likes, just didn't catch on. So
So one
Who
thing that
knows?
Netflix does, I've noticed, is they have multiple, and not even just two, sometimes they have three, four, or five different movie like posters, essentially thumbnails that they used for the movies. And I'll see these movies every couple weeks or so with a different thumbnail, and it will attract maybe a different type of person, people who haven't seen it yet. But they'll do one that's like more feminine, where one of the female characters, and then they'll do one that's more male. And actually, when I was working at Ipsy, I had this idea that I pitched, which got rejected because it was like too much work. But I was like, we should be updating the thumbnails every couple, like once a month with something new and different, because new, like, people are going to see it differently. And I think it got back to this idea too of, you don't really know what that does to the algorithm in terms of the back end, because I've heard some people say that it almost demotes your video, and all of this is so hearsay. It's so hard to sometimes put a pulse on what the algorithm is doing, because it's continually changing. It's not something that has been the same since the beginning. Do you guys feel like, you were saying you feel like views have kind of been the same, or some videos are worse? What do you foresee for the next couple months or years, like in terms of like trends on YouTube or like popularity? Because, I assume the same. Like, I thought that people would be at home watching way more YouTube, but it doesn't seem like maybe that's not the case. So what do you guys think for the future, like in the next couple of months, and like what do you see in terms of popularity as well?
Want to go ahead, Jessica?
This is your
Manny,
podcast.
it's all you.
I got you then. Hey, I got you then.
It's
I know
Manny's
Jessica's
podcast.
I got you then. I think YouTube isn't going anywhere, but I know that for us, photography people that post photography content, we're dealing with something, because I talked to other top YouTubers in our field, and Jessica's one of them. All of our numbers are down right now, and it's so hard to stay motivated. It's so hard to just get up and edit this video when you know that it's, for the most part, it's not gonna do well. All we can do is just continue with our daily program, just continue to put out stuff, and that's what I'm trying to do, is just kind of almost like I call YouTube is almost like there's an avalanche. You're always running from an avalanche, and that avalanche is the death of your channel, right? Like,
so stressful.
yeah, and you're always keeping up, putting out new content, because eventually you run out of like ideas, and now you're creating just to create, and I found myself doing that this week, the week before that, this whole quarantine. I'm just creating to create, and nothing's gonna change on our part. We're gonna continue to do this and just hope for the best, and the channels out there that are just flourishing and just tell rainbows and unicorns, they're just going to continue to get their views.
We're
I'm
over
being
here
petty.
with our 7K views. We're over here like crying.
Right.
In our videos, we have the photo shoots, we have models, makeup, hair, videography. I mean, other people have those kind of things, but for us, I feel like there's so much more work put into it, and it is discouraging when it doesn't do very well at first. But what I would tell you is to just kind of give it time, because sometimes it does take a week or two for the algorithm to kind of catch it. And you never know, like maybe a month from now that video goes viral or kind of picks up a little bit more. So don't be too discouraged. That's what I would say. Manny's like, I'm still
convinced.
He's like, I'm still deleting it and re-uploading it.
Yeah, it's still going down. But Flannery, to the point that you made about changing your thumbnail, I have gotten a couple of videos where I have changed the thumbnail and it just kind of blew up.
He's right.
And then I've done it to other videos, and nothing has happened. Absolutely nothing changed. No one knows what's really going on out there. Everyone is experiencing different things, and everyone has a new theory, but there's no way to know. We just got to keep experimenting, see what works for us, I guess,
So you've been on YouTube since 2017. Tell us a little bit more about how you started. How did you become the YouTuber that you are today with photography?
Right. So I started, I was shooting with Sony cameras. That's when I started to make videos, because it was a new thing. It was kind of a hot thing then. Started making behind the scenes cringy videos. Like, if you were to I can't even watch my old videos. It's so freaking cringy. Plus, I was uglier back then. I don't know how that's even possible. But maybe it was just my haircut. I don't know. But it's cringy for me to watch my old videos. Plus, how I'm talking in the videos. Like, oh my god, it's like it was just really bad. Let's just imagine that. But I continued to put out videos, and I think the key to being successful in the beginning is having zero expectations. People start YouTube like, you know what, I'm gonna start making money on this platform, and they realize that it's not that easy, and then you're like, oh, you get demotivated right away. When you have zero expectations and you do something for the fun of it, that's when something might happen, and that's how you continue to kind of like push and like, let's see what works. That's what I did, and I just I started to get published by articles, by popular photography articles. I started to get traction through them. I'm like, whoa, like I'm at 1,000 subscribers after like 5-10 videos. It's like, what? I'm like, okay. I continued. I doubled down. I continued to put out content every single week because of that. So.
Was there one video in particular that kind of elevated your channel and made you a little bit more known? Was there one video in particular?
Yeah, it was my natural light versus off-camera flash video. That's when flash was becoming a more affordable for everyone. So I started doing that. Video kind of blew up for me, got published by everyone, Petapixel, and my channel started to blow up. Thousands of subscribers started to come in, and I capitalized on that traction. I used that traction. I continued to make videos about off-camera flash, and I just kind of built that momentum from there.
That's a great tip for anyone starting, to really be analytical about your own content. I think sometimes people can get really like knee-jerky reactions to things and start swaying greatly. But if you just look at the stats and you really see like, wow, like people are interested in this, let me like go more in that direction. I mean, that clearly helped you so much. What would be like some of your tips, like for someone else who's starting out, maybe hasn't had a video, who's blown up yet, who's in the photography space? Like, what's some like advice you would give to someone in that position?
I would say don't worry about making the best quality, because that video was not a great quality video. It definitely wasn't. Just go and tinker and create videos that are you. Don't try to emulate Peter McKinnon. You're never going to emulate him. People that want to watch him, go to his channel. Go be yourself. Add your own flavor to it. Don't worry so much about the technical aspects of the video. Go create something cool and just tinker. Try different things.
So we were talking about the YouTube tips that you would give somebody. Man, YouTube is a struggle. It's legit a struggle. It's like a whole class.
Tip number 1, don't start a YouTube.
Don't start a YouTube channel.
Tip number 2, don't take what I say seriously, okay? I'm just being petty. That's the most helpful 2 tips I've ever given. First, okay. Anyways.
So just don't start a YouTube channel. Got it. Thank you.
But you know what? Can I back that up really quick?
Yeah.
Okay. This is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me career-wise. I make more money than I did as a police officer before YouTube. So, and I get to travel more, and there's a lot of great, amazing things that come with being a successful YouTuber. I would consider myself successful in a sense, but what the bad part is, and there's also a lot of bad to this that people don't see. It's, oh wait, should I save this for later?
No, go ahead. Say what you gotta say.
It's like, the number 1, you think when you start YouTube, you're creating because you love creating, but it comes to a point where you're not creating because you love it. It's because you have to create, and that right there can kind of just kill all your like just your motivation and your drive to want to do this, right? One of the other big ones is you start a YouTube channel because you don't want to be, you're tired of having a boss. You think that, oh, I'm going to start my own channel. I'm going to be my own boss. I'm going to do whatever I want. But if you want to make money on YouTube, that means that you have to work with other companies. And when you work with other companies, someone there is regulating your stuff. You have to send it for approval. It's almost like having different bosses everywhere. And it's just like, people think it's one thing, but it's a lot of the same things that you're already going through, but you know, in another sense. But anyways, that's just me ranting.
I think you bring up a really good point, because there is this caveat when you work with brand partners or when there's money involved. That money is almost like you're giving up a small percentage of your final say in the project. And there is always this trade-off. And to have 100% always be you, that means sometimes you're not going to make as much money. And obviously with AdSense and YouTube, that's different. But like, no one actually makes a living off of AdSense on YouTube. It's not feasible. So you have to do brand partnerships. You have to make money other ways. What would be like your advice on that when like looking for brand partners? Like, what do you look for?
Well, number one, I make sure that it's relevant to what I do. If I do a cell phone gaming integration, people can be like, what the hell did I just watch, Manny? Like, really, Manny? Like, really, you're selling yourself out like that? Like, no, I'm going to do something that's relevant to what I do. So anything relevant to photography is one. And then you have to be smart with your integrations, because everyone's always going to try to lowball you. Always, they're going to try to get the best deal. And you have to be very strategic in how you approach these brand deals, because you don't understand. They tell you they have a budget, but they're lying to you. They have more money to spend most of the time. So you got to be smart. You got to be well informed. So, like, I kind of learned as I went. I got a couple of bad deals in the beginning where I just pretty much just gave away publicity for almost nothing. And now I'm charging a pretty good rate, which is normal. So I say definitely talk to other people in the industry to kind of like know what the standard is for what you should be charging, and only use brands that are relevant to what you are doing, because it kind of sends a bad signal to people that, man, this guy must be desperate for money to be doing a sponsorship for makeup on a photography channel, you know, like me. Like,
the vitamins.
Hey, try this Maybelline.
You're doing like
this
fit tea.
like, right? Anything that's not photography related.
Have you ever gotten those emails like about the whitening, teeth whitening thing, or like hair extensions? I'm like, but I don't even have this type of channel. Why are you reaching out to me? And it's kind of insulting, low-key. Like, do you really think I need whitening strips?
I don't know how they even get my email. Like, who are these? Yeah, right. It's like, they're like, why would you really think I would be interested in this?
The extensions, maybe. I could see that.
You think so now, right?
Hey, they're shooting their shot, you know?
I mean, maybe, who knows? Maybe you'll integrate it on one of your models. You'll put the model in extensions. We don't know, you know?
True.
Well, you're onto something, Jessica.
Right? You gotta listen. It's quarantine. I mean, the jobs are. They're not coming. You gotta take what you can get.
Gotta be resourceful.
So to bring up quarantine, let's talk a little bit about quarantine. We know it's some of like, how are you feeling during quarantine right now? How is it affecting your photography?
So I have seen many memes that I can totally relate to. This quarantine is literally how I normally live anyways, but I want to have the option of being here. You know, it's like being told to stay in. It's like, no, I want to know that this is my decision, not your decision. But honestly though, like, I'm used to being home. I'm a homebody, but I miss my vitamin D, and I miss the little interaction that I have with my friends already. Like, I miss that little interaction. So it's been honestly pretty tough. And plus, my job on YouTube mostly is doing on location shoots. Like, what I want to get out and shoot in downtown somewhere, but I can't do it. I can't do it, and it's crushing me.
It's okay, Manny. None of us can. We're all suffering with you, all of us. It's very tough right now. I think I'm seeing an influx of the stay-at-home photo challenges. Have you tried to do anything like that?
I just did one yesterday in my basement.
How did it
didn't
turn out?
have to be in my basement, but it went really well. At
least you have a model. His wife's gorgeous. You could shoot with her anytime, you know, when she's not working. But you're lucky, because I don't have any models here.
Well, you need to jump on the bandwagon, Jessica. The FaceTime, everyone's doing it apparently.
Oh my God, I do not want to do those. I've been seeing so many of them. I think I just, you know, that it's. Do you agree it's a little much now? It's like,
I think it's almost pointless. Like, they could just take selfies of themselves
Yeah.
It's just a way of like, I think it's just a way of people trying to be innovative and try to go viral and try to like, oh, I got this crazy cool idea. But in reality, they're not really using those photos for like their portfolio. It's just a cool idea.
Who knows? If you might go to a model's portfolio site, it's all FaceTime pictures, like edited in Lightroom.
Hey, next week you see me upload a FaceTime shoot video.
Oh my! I wouldn't even. I want to leave you a comment like, "Are you serious? Hey, we have
you know
some
what?
extensions we want you to advertise for us."
Hey, I'm running out of ideas, so you never know.
The FaceTime photo shoots, I think, are like at first it was like, "Oh, okay, cool," but then now it's like, "Okay, like we get it.
Yeah.
You can FaceTime with people. Like no one's FaceTiming me, you know." So except Flannery.
Except me.
Except Flannery for this
24/7.
podcast.
Oh, God.
For this podcast.
That's so funny.
So like, Manny, what do you do when you have like creative blocks? So whether it's like quarantine or not, like how do you get through those times? And like, do you just have like a stockpile of video ideas? Like when you're feeling creative, do you try and be as creative as possible and make as much content when it's like there? Or like, because obviously you have to do them fairly consistently. So how do you get through that?
I have a lot of those blocks, and they really take a toll on me. I talk to a lot of friends. I call friends, and I usually talk to them about what I'm going through, and they usually kind of know what I'm going through, and then we kind of just talk about it, and that kind of makes me feel better about it, that I'm not alone in it. I feel like it's just me, like what's like, oh my God, like I have no motivation. Just talking to friends that are in the industry as well usually help me kind of break out of it a little bit. But these creative blocks are so serious. It's so just discouraging. You feel like you don't even want to look at your camera at all. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do it anymore, you know? But you just got to talk to people in the industry, and just, I talk to friends. That kind of gets me back in the mood. Yeah. It's a really hard one to give advice on, because I struggle with it so much myself, you know?
Do you feel, and maybe a question for both of you guys, do you feel as your channel has grown and you've had it longer, do you feel like those roadblocks come up more often? Because obviously, like, there are limitless and endless ideas, but at the same time, you know, once you've done all of the basics and you feel like you've done them really well and you don't maybe want to start repeating all of those, do you feel like it gets harder, or do you feel like you're just looking at trends and you're getting inspiration from like new things that are coming up?
Go ahead, Jessica.
Hey, you're the guest on the podcast.
She
not
said
me.
both.
But
I did, but you first.
You first.
Okay. I find it's something that I'm currently going through right now, and I'm literally like in every part of my day. You know how they say like a creative's mind never turns off? My mind never turns off. Throughout the day, I'm always thinking about the next idea for something. So that's why I decided I did a shoot in my garage in the car, and it actually turned out really cool. That's almost edited. Then I did one in my basement. So I'm trying, and eventually I'm going to run out of ideas in my house. There's only so many rooms I have.
Bathroom.
And then bathroom. You know what? Jessica's onto something here. But
I've shot in a bathroom. That's why I said that.
This is a constant battle to find ideas. And one of my biggest issues is that my mind never shuts off. My mind is always on throughout the entire day. And sometimes when I'm with my family, I have to I have to try to turn my mind off so I could spend quality time with my family, because my mind is always on other things. And that is one of the issues with being a YouTuber, right? My own brand, always thinking of the next thing to do, always thinking of ideas. That is the challenging part. And half the time I can't even come up with an idea, for God's sakes. But yeah, I'm always thinking of, my mind's always running on ideas for the channel, for sure.
I mean, yeah, it is about what's the next big idea on YouTube within the photography community, and you never know until you think of the concept, you record it, you edit, and you put it out, and then even then you don't even know, because like I said, it can do terribly within the first week. It can flop, and then out of nowhere it does amazing. But for me, I can relate to you when you were saying like your brain can't shut off when it comes to ideas. For me too, when I know that when I'm reading too much into the comments, that gets to me too, and I know you can relate to this because like I'll screenshot things and send it to you and be like, look what this person said, like, is this true, like, am I a terrible photographer? So, you know, on the topic of hate comments, which is, I mean, listen, it's a very real thing on YouTube. I think we've all experienced some form of a hate comment, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube a little bit more, you know. Talk to us about that. What are some comments that you've seen? How do you deal with these comments?
So like negative comments or
Exactly.
people trying to chime in. Negative comments, you know what's funny is most negative comments I can brush off my shoulders. There's some, I'm not gonna lie, there's some that are so personal. I'm just like, damn, that actually kind of was like
They
a
did
knife.
research.
Yeah, like wait, hold on, that one hurt. Like, and then it sticks with me for a while. I'm like, damn, like that person's evil, you know. And then they'll go to like all my social media platforms and continue to hate on different things. And I'm just like, wow, like, man, you're really putting a lot of effort here. You must not really like me, you know. But for the most part, at this point, I'm kind of numb to a lot of the hate comments. I just, you know, either delete it or just leave it up there. Sometimes just leave it there. Make a fool of yourself, whatever. But there are certain comments. Sometimes people feel like they know what's best for your channel. They're like, oh, I'm tired of these kind of videos. You should be doing these kind of videos. And you know what? I fed into those sometimes. I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's right. And then I do what he suggests. And then, first of all, he's nowhere to be found in the comments. And number two, the video flops. I'm like, yo, like for example, oh, I wish this is turning into a camera gear channel. I wish you could do more photography like before.
Wait, Manny, wait. We can't hear
audio.
you. Your audio. He was so passionate, he like cut out there for a second. He like the microphone. Wait.
It says connected.
Okay, now it works.
There we go.
Okay, wait. Go back. Man,
Just
you were
repeat the
about to
last-
say something. I thought you swore,
I
and then it
know.
bleeped out. He was
Pretty
so
cool
passionate,
software.
and then it just went
Yeah.
blank.
Okay, so we asked the question.
How do you deal with hate comments? Like you were talking about this one guy who made the suggestion, and then you put the video that he suggested up, and he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah. Manny, your video is turning into a gear channel. Okay, so you know what? I kind of took that. I was like, you know what? You're right. Let me do a photography video. I put a photography video. I get like 1/4 of the views. And that guy is not even in the comments to say, hey, Manny, great job. Like, no, I'm going to continue to do what I feel is best for my channel. And people that always chiming in to kind of just don't listen to that. Do what you think is best for you. And stop listening to because of all the thousands of people that watch your video, if they're not commenting on it, but they're just consuming it, enjoying it, there's a couple of people that are criticizing it, don't listen to that. Just do what you like to do or that you know is working.
I mean, you make a good point because we do tend to only focus on the negative comments, and sometimes the people who really appreciate the video and really like the video are not going to be commenting that. They're just going to watch it, absorb it, and move on with their day. You know what I mean? So they're not leaving that feedback. So now you just get a bunch of you're seeing like these few negative comments, and you're thinking this is what the majority thinks, when maybe that's not really true.
I did want to add like one thing about there is this sense, and it's so weird because it's grown over the years, but there is this sense of entitlement for people who are consuming content but not creating it, that if you don't upload at least one video a week or stick to your schedule, that somehow they are offended, that somehow you've done something terrible and wrong. And, you know, it's this weird expectation. It's like you're putting out free content that they can watch for free, you know? And it is this like culture that we've kind of created with YouTube because they're consuming it for free and then demanding things and like saying hate comments on top of that. But I think it just brings back to the idea of like, just do what you love, like brush it off. And like, it doesn't matter. Like you said, like those people hating before, it's like, where are they in the next video's comments? Like nowhere to be seen.
He's probably on my
That's
channel leaving hate
hilarious.
comments.
Oh yeah, you'll find them there.
He's on my video like, Jessica sucks. She's the worst photographer.
Hey, so Flannery made a really great point that really triggered me because it's so true. Okay, you talked about expectations. There is almost like a sense of loyalty that people have toward a certain creator, right? when that creator is posting and posting, it's like, I'm loyal to your content. But when they stop posting, you know how they say that people are kind of like forget about you? And it's so true, because I actually felt it myself when one of my favorite creators would stop creating, and then they pop up like 5 months later. I'm like, hey man, you behind the times over here. Like, I moved on. You know, it's always like a relationship. And I have felt that personally with other creators, and I feel like that's one reason why it's important to be consistent. It's almost like a relationship that you have with the viewers, in being there for them, being consistent, providing them entertainment or content or education or whatever it is.
So we left off on some hate comments, my personal favorite. Are there any that stand out to you? Any like award-winning hate comments that have been left for you?
Award-winning
Oscar
comments.
nomination for the best hate comment.
A slow clap for those hate comments. The personal ones, the ones that kind of discredit me at what I do, and like talking about like how, I don't know, if someone says anything about how lucky I am that I don't deserve, or, you know, like people that take a shot at what I accomplished are the ones that really hurt me. The ones that say my photography sucks or whatever, you can say whatever you want. When I usually put your website link down below, they never do.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm like, I will take this as constructive criticism. Put your website link on, and they never post it.
Let me see your work.
But yeah, let me see your work. Let me see what you can produce. It's so easy to be an armchair photographer when you sit at home and judge everybody on their stuff, but you can't produce it yourself. You know all the technical aspects of it, but you don't know how to actually create it in the midst of actual pressure and actual different problem solving. You know, it's so many things that go into it, but my thing is the personal attacks are the ones that kind of hit home sometimes with me. Yeah.
And we were talking earlier about clickbait titles, and I know some commenters got on you about that. The clickbait titles.
Yeah. They complain about us YouTubers trying to be clickbaity, but we're fighting with so many other clickbaiters to try to get your attention, and if we don't try to get your attention, you're not even gonna click on the video.
I love how like Manny really thinks about all this stuff. He's like, I'm just trying to get your attention.
That's all I'm trying to do.
It's
CNN
true.
is over here, and all these other, like, you know, you would think that media outlets are like more. No, everyone is trying to clickbait you to click on a video because they know that it's hard to get your attention.
But
and if we work so hard on something, right? We work so hard on a video, like we want you to click on it so that you could see it. So
YouTube in one sentence. We work hard on a video so you can click it and watch it. I mean, but listen, as photographers, how clickbaity can our videos be? It's not like, oh, girl gets arrested, whatever. You know what I mean? Like how, like what do we say? Like, oh, natural light using only one reflector, but we really used to. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah, that's like the ultimate crime in the photography.
Like
community.
how bad could it really be? You know?
How dare you?
How dare you? I mean, look, I'm no stranger to that. You have seen the comments that I also get. So I get it. I've been there. And, you know, one thing in particular is people calling us YouTube photographers. What do you think about that? Is that like an insult? Is that a compliment? Because, you know, we are on YouTube. We're photographers.
You know what? You call me a YouTube photographer all you want, because anybody can be a normal photographer, okay? But being a YouTube photographer, someone with a like a large following like we have, I mean, you obviously way more, but doing what we do and always putting our work out there for other people to see and not just clients to see, not everyone can do that. Not everyone has the mental strength to deal with what we do. So you call me YouTube photographer, you think you're discrediting me? You know what? It's a compliment. Thank you, sir. Thank you, armchair photographer. Because I'm here putting myself out there. Are you putting yourself out there? No. You're creating a fake account on YouTube to talk crap about me. Good for you.
Actually, I have a confession. Those are actually all my accounts. I make them, and then I go on your YouTube channel. I go on Jared's sometime too, and just like I'll leave a comment like, hey, I shoot in JPEG, you know, because that's like a big crime, I guess, shooting in JPEG. Actually, I like JPEGs. But I
Oh
think
boy.
this just goes back to the fact that being on YouTube, having a big platform isn't really what people think it is. It's not glamorous. It's not always fancy. Yeah, it's great, but there's a lot of struggles that come with it.
was gonna say, I think Jess, like we've had some conversations, and like I think you don't like love being called a YouTube photographer, but also it's like on the flip side, I know so many people who, for the past like 10 years have been like my ultimate goal is to like shoot a cover of Vogue. But now more than ever it's like Vogue, I mean, it's still this like pinnacle, but like the magazine industry, it's like that's like a dying breed, right?
Yeah.
It's like the same with TV. It's like YouTube is the new TV. And you are your own channel that you fully control and that you're like killing it, both of you guys, and like making a living off of that. And yeah, I think like Manny's right. It's like people can call you whatever they want to call you, like go for it, but like that shouldn't change your outlook on your work or your creativity. Like, doesn't matter what the label is.
I mean, people want to call us YouTube photographers. I mean, that's fine, but they don't know, I think, our history as photographers. Like Manny did weddings before he did YouTube. I also shoot weddings, and Manny was also part of the Sony ambassador program. I mean, not everybody can be part of those programs. So, I mean, yeah, we're on YouTube, yeah, we're doing this, but we also have done other things in regards to our photography. Manny, can you talk to us a little bit about the Sony ambassador program, because I know a lot of people are interested in hearing about your experience there.
Yeah, so before I became an ambassador, I was like, oh my God, like in the almighty ambassador program of Sony, like how it's an amazing thing, right? To feel like you're a part of this huge global brand like Sony. And don't get me wrong, I benefited from the program, but not everybody benefits from an ambassador program. And what ends up happening is that you end up like shilling yourself to this company that you're not getting enough for, right? So everyone benefits different from an ambassador program, and sometimes you outgrow an ambassador program like I did, where I didn't want to be restricted to one camera brand. I don't need to be an ambassador program to kind of, I kind of just moved past it. Like I've outgrown it. So there's two different types of people. There's people that become like the face of a brand and they benefit from a program, and there's some people that don't benefit that much from a brand, and it really doesn't make any sense to kind of restrict yourself to be under the umbrella of a certain brand. So I feel like for the most part, it's overrated to be an ambassador of, let's say, a camera company, unless you're really benefiting from it, because not everyone does.
No, you're absolutely right. And how were you approached? Because there are different programs with Sony, right? There's the what was it called? There's the
Sony Collective and Sony Artisan.
Okay. So there are the two different programs. There's the Artisans, and then there's the Sony Collective. So talk to us a little bit about how you started off in the Collective. Were you contacted by someone specifically, or did somebody introduce you?
I was on the hunt I was trying to reach the right people to become a part of it. They weren't looking for me. I was looking for them. And then I finally got through to the right people, and they invited me onto the Collective, which is more of a social media based ambassador program. I got a lot of opportunities, you don't get paid to be an ambassador. I just want to make that very clear. You don't get paid to be an ambassador. You don't even get free cameras. You get opportunities, paid opportunities through, at least through Sony. So there's different kinds. The artisans are the ones that are more like on the stage for these conventions. They do presentations. They do a lot of more teaching. Then they got the Collective, and I believe Canon has a program like this as well, where it's mostly social media influencers doing posts about the brand.
So you went and sought out after this program. What was so appealing to you about it?
The title, and the like almost like the honor that comes with it. Like, I am a Sony ambassador. Like
It
it's
makes
a cool
you kind of
thing.
look
Like,
cool, yeah.
Yeah, like you feel cool. You feel like like, hey, I'm moving up.
I'm part of this group with other photographers, and
an
we're
elite
going on
group.
trips with each. Because
Yeah.
did you go to? There was a trip that they took the Sony Collective, I believe, to Ireland. Were you part of that group?
No, there's only certain people that go to different trips.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that as like, I was genuinely
But I would love to
interested.
go, Jessica. Thanks for
I'm sorry. I didn't know if, cause okay, I just didn't know. I just wanted, cause I heard that was a really nice trip. I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't invite you. They should. Am I making it worse?
She's making
no.
it worse.
Certain people go on certain trips.
Listen, if it makes you feel better, I wasn't invited.
Yeah, well, thank you. You know what? You fixed the whole problem. Thank you. You fixed it.
I wasn't even
You're
in
the
the
best friend
collective. I wasn't even in the collective. How about that? I wasn't even in the collective to get an invitation. So don't even.
Okay, but you were with Canon. You were with Canon. You were in a similar position as me as a social media kind of ambassador. So
Yeah.
how did that go for you?
Well, I ended my contract early, and I mean, like you said, I agree. It's not for everybody. And I think as an influencer, it's important to be able to use different types of gear, especially when new gear comes out. You know, you want to get your hands on the newest lens. You want to try it out. You want to do the gear reviews, and you're not able to do that if you're exclusive to one brand. So what I would say personally is if it is going to benefit you in the long run, and if they're offering you a lot, then I would say go for it. I mean, a brand program might be really great for some people, but for me, it just didn't work. I think for what we do, we need to have that flexibility with different brands. And listen, I want to be invited to all kinds of trips, and I can't do that if I'm with just one brand. And so, yeah, I mean, but I still have all my Canon gear. I love all of my kit. How did this get turned into something about me? We're not talking about me.
Hey.
Talk about Sony.
Yeah, well, you know, it's still good to hear your side of the story, you know, because it's very similar to mine.
Manny's like, you didn't get invited to this thing. Manny's like, I heard there was a trip that you weren't invited to.
There's also this idea of kind of like having a symbiotic relationship with you and like a large company. Like, you know, if you really think about like social media, it works best when the brands are partnered with influencers or creators who are trying to get the same thing out of each other. Brands use influencers for exposure and to have a voice and to reach a certain demo. And when you look at like companies like Canon Camera, and Sony, two of the largest companies in the world, they don't need another influencer to promote them to get another person to know about their brand. The whole world knows about their brands. Like, they have only a couple of major camera brands to choose from. So, you know, and I think they're so old school still. I've had a lot of friends who have gone through the programs, and they say, you know, it's like you don't get one-on-one attention. Like, it's kind of generic. And yeah, it's per person how it works for them. But at the same time, you know, these brands are kind of like the dinosaur brands, and obviously they're incredible. Like, I have only Sony and Canon cameras. They're the best, but you know, it doesn't mean that they fully understand like the influencer world or even need you know what I mean, at the end of the day.
Canon for sure is what I consider a dinosaur brand. They have there's certain people that they want to represent them always, and it's usually the same people, which I don't even blame. They're amazing people, but there's so many other people that they could bring on that would bring in the younger crowd. Because when you go to the Canon booth, and guess what, you see an older crowd there. Sony's definitely a little bit more with the times. I did have a one-on-one relationship with the person that was in charge of the program, and they're way more into the younger crowd, and it's a cool thing, you know, to have Sony, and they have younger people representing them. But yeah, like you said, they don't really need like that. But I think that's one thing that separates Sony is you also the community aspect of it, right? Like, Sony has a lot of community events, and when you have a Sony camera, it's almost like you're part of a community, in a sense.
It is fun. I remember I went to
Totally.
that one Sony event. It was my first Sony event. It was so much fun. Definitely, I agree with Manny. It was a different crowd. It was a different atmosphere. I don't shoot with Sony, but I mean, I'm open to trying it. And I feel like you have to be open to trying new gear as a YouTuber, especially because the gear videos do. I mean, is it safe to say that the gear videos usually do pretty well?
For the most part, gear videos are what attract people to click your video, and that's mostly what I use now is gear to get clicks. Because if you just do it about photography, it's just not enticing enough apparently.
So what is your goal for your YouTube channel? Like, is there like a dream photo shoot that you want to do? Is there a dream model that you want to work with?
Yeah, the one that you just work with. Sophia. No, Sophia
Esperanza, yeah.
Oh my God, I would love to work with her. But my goal, you know what's funny? This is the funny thing. I want to have goals so bad.
So just have them. So have
No,
them.
I can't. You know what though? This is the thing, right? Like I said, YouTube is like, it's an avalanche. And the avalanche is the algorithm. The avalanche is the pressure to put out new content. The avalanche is you got to have new ideas or else you're going to get just crushed. And I find myself always having to play keep up with my channel versus I want to be able to plan ahead, like kind of like you. I think you plan ahead more. Be able to plan ahead and try to find innovative ways, new business ventures, new things. But right now, I'm still at this point, 3 years in, 400,000 subscribers. I'm still playing catch up with my channel.
Oh, congratulations, by the way. You just recently hit 400K. It's a big milestone.
Yeah.
Almost to the $500,000.
Thank you.
But no, I can definitely relate to this. I think that you're doing a great job. I mean, you don't give yourself enough credit, the stuff that you do. Do you find that one certain video does better than others? Like, are you more inclined to put out maybe a gear review over a natural light video because it does better?
You know what? It's so sporadic. I'll put out a new gear video that just comes out. I'm like, oh man, this is going to do good. It's a good video. And it does good. And then I'll post like this video right after it that I'm like, okay, this was on the back burner, but I'll put it out now. And that video will do better. It just doesn't make, like, there's no, like, pattern that I can kind of, like, I just can't, it's hard to predict what's going to happen on this platform. So hard.
The algorithm is all over the place. I think we can all agree. Well, I mean, for some, actually, for photography, I feel like the consensus is the algorithm. It's not as strong. Maybe just for us. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe just me and you. I don't know. But I can definitely, I struggle with you there is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And one particular video that I want to ask you about, because it's been a couple months since we recorded it. If you remember, we did a Strangers in Japan video. You were a guest in the video. How was your experience like now that it's been a couple months later? Have you reflected back on it? Have you even watched it?
I did. I've watched it, and it's always hard to watch myself. To this day, it's hard to watch myself. It's hard to listen to my own voice in a video for that matter. But I think that it was almost like a blur to me because I fight my anxiety with like this fake persona of like I'm confident. Oh, I know what I'm doing, and it's something I'm used to doing now on YouTube, where I'm just like I went out there in a different country. I can't even talk to people in Chicago. I'm out there in a different country in a different language, and I kind of just put like a fake, like a blanket, like a cloak, and like this is not even me. This is just a guy that's pretending to be confident, pretending to know what he's doing here. So it was all a blur to me. Like I was out there just winging it, trying to do good, but I was scared inside.
There were so many comments because you said one word in Japanese, and can you just give us a refresher about
Sumimasen.
So
Sumimasen.
The Japanese word for excuse me is sumimasen, and we were trying to teach Manny. By the way, to his credit, he's trying to learn the language in literally like 10 minutes. So I think you picked up quite a few words, but you were messing that one word up, which is understandable. I was saying so many things wrong in Japanese, but for some reason, everybody in the comments was hung up on you saying that one word incorrectly. And what was your reaction to that?
You know, I'm just glad I could provide some kind of entertainment. You know, even if it's at my own expense, like make fun of me, whatever. As long as I was entertaining, that's all that matters.
I'm trying to like find this one comment. Oh my god.
Manny's the type of guy to say something, right?
Manny's the type of guy. Wait, I'm gonna find this.
Gracias in Japan or something, like in Spanish, something like
Everyone's like, he's saying "sí" in in Japan. He did like I don't know. It's wait, hold on. Let me get
Oh
this.
yeah, I was talking Spanish to the Japanese people. Like they would understand it. Like see,
See?
like like that's any different from saying anything in English. Like it's so bad.
Hold on, I'm gonna
So
find
bad.
this comment. I'm gonna find this comment.
I
Hold on.
started talking Spanish to these people. Like
I
who
laughed
does
so
that?
hard. Listen, I mean, we're nervous and you just learned all of these new words. I can understand why you might have gotten it mixed up. So I just thought it was like, I really give you credit for doing what you did because it's really not easy to go up to a complete stranger in another country, speak their language, and then take a picture of them. So, I don't know.
Hey, you know the funny part is most of those people spoke English, and I was over there making a fool of myself for no reason.
That one girl
Well, some
at
of
the
those people
end.
spoke
They speak
English.
back like perfect English.
Remember
Yeah,
that one girl?
perfect
You
English.
took a picture. You were trying
I'm
to
over-
communicate with her.
Yeah, I'm over here suffering. Like, can't you know I'm you know I'm from America. Can you?
Somebody wrote. Yeah. Somebody wrote a comment. Them Japanese. Manny C. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was a mess.
No, I mean, wait. Let's see.
I'm good.
So there was one girl in particular. Manny was trying so hard to communicate with her. He said the phrase in Japanese. She didn't understand. So we actually had to have a translator come in and translate everything. And then at the very end of the photo shoot, she reveals that she spoke English and she lived in Minnesota. And then Manny's like, what?
I'm like, are you kidding me?
It was one of the moments where I just started laughing. I'm like, that's kind of awesome. That was like a flex out of nowhere. It's like, actually, I lived in Minnesota.
That was like
Oh,
a straight up
right?
catfish.
Oh my gosh.
But listen, there were a lot of good comments saying, I love how confident Manny is. Like, this is very adorable. I cracked up when Manny started saying, Sumi Sasan, that's gold. So, I mean, you entertained a lot of people.
That's all that matters.
And you got the pictures at the end of the day. You got some really nice photos. And I think it just goes to show you struggle a little bit and you're uncomfortable for a few moments, but at the end you get a really nice result. So it was worth it in the end.
Yes, it was. It's definitely worth it.
Would you do it again? Are we going to see you in Korea maybe? Learning Korean is so hard, by the way.
Next year, yeah.
Oh my God. Someone put, ha ha ha. When he said see to that old lady, I dropped dead.
I'm speaking Spanish to these people. Jeez.
Oh my God. And then, so Manny and Eva actually tried to, do this little marriage thing between me and this other guy who was just being polite. And by the way, I just want to say, it was out of politeness. He's a very nice person. So there's not going to be any wedding day. There's not going to be anything like that.
Jessica was totally flirting out there.
I was not flirting, okay?
She was hung up.
He was showing me
okay.
his Instagram, like he worked at like a clothing retail shop and he was showing me it and I was being polite. I'm like, oh, he's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't talk to people. I don't know.
We know what's up. It's okay though.
Jessica's gonna get married. She's like at the altar. She's like, he's just a friend. Like
Yeah.
puts the ring on.
Whoa, is this turning into a Jessica roast? Because that's what I feel right now.
Wait, I can do it.
Yes.
Okay,
Do it.
wait, but before we get into the roast, I finally found the comment. It's by Eli Fizz, who wrote, Manny is the type of guy that will say gracias to the waiter at a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, that was that kind of day for me.
Is that something that you would do?
It was that kind of day for me. Yeah, I would.
Gracias. Are you saying gracias or are you like putting the accent on like gracias?
I think I would probably say it in like I would say differently.
In a Japanese accent.
Yeah, like maybe they could understand this.
So, Manny, we did an episode earlier talking about this TikTok video that surfaced where there was a TikTok photographer who's very popular who saw a wedding photographer shooting a bride and groom, and he came up and kind of interjected himself and took over the shoot. He did ask, but it was a bit of a drama in the photography community. Did you see it, and what do you think about it?
I think it was so selfish to do something like that, to to think that I could just whip out my phone and be like, hey, look, I got this many millions of followers. I can, like, I just think it's so selfish to do for you because, he wants content. He wants to create some drama, or not drama, but he wants to get clicks on his video. I think it's a selfish move because we know that's what he wanted. And we know that if that was him, if he was the other guy, he would not like that. It's just almost like an ego hit on the other photographer that's there. And the people are like, they're looking at him like, I don't know about this, And you guys, we've been planning this wedding. Like, every wedding that I've shot, I can only imagine if someone came up to me like, hey, can I steal your wedding couple? Like, hey, oh my God. Like, I wouldn't even let their mom take them to go tell them something in a room. Like, nope, you're not taking them away from me. They're staying with me. We're gonna knock these photos out. Imagine another photographer coming in. Like, that's just like, I don't even know how to, it's so hard for me to like put myself in that position. That's just something that I would never ever do.
And the thing is, a lot of people were saying, oh, he consented to it, but at the same time, he was put in a very pressured situation. Yeah, it was like really awkward.
Recording. There's someone right next to him recording the video as well. It's almost like you really look like a jackass.
Yeah. Like, if he were to say, no, you can't take my clients, maybe the clients get mad. That's what we were kind of talking about. Like, either way, it was like a lose-lose situation for the photographer.
And the clients can speak for themselves. They're two grown people. They're adults. Like, you kind of want to just let them decide that on their own. I'm not their babysitter, like, and at the end of the day, I'm going to read off them like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, okay, yeah, then I'll be like, if they said, I don't know, oh, yeah, it's fine, thank you. So I would kind of vibe off them, but anyways. Yeah.
So this photographer approaches you during your wedding client photo shoot. What is your response?
I'm going to do exactly what the other guy did. I'm going to kind of read my clients, and I'm kind of read them, and he starts to show them followers and everything. That's when I think at some point I would step in and be like, look, man, I'm on a tight schedule. We're on a tight schedule here. Even if we're not, I'm like, we're on a tight schedule. That's not possible, I wouldn't act like a jerk, obviously, because I have my clients there. But if I was on a YouTube shoot, oh, that's a different story.
You throw
Can
down?
I shoot your model? Oh, okay. All right, you see a whole.
The hair tie comes up, and you take the hoop earrings off, and you're like, let's go.
I'm going to tie up the hair extensions from the promo video that I'm about to do real neatly, and I'm about to.
If you can, throw some hands and win, then you can shoot with my clients. Yeah.
You see me in Vegas. You see me in action.
You gotta earn this photo shoot. You know what I mean?
The
TikTok guy's like, I don't think so.
So Manny, thank you so much for coming on, and you can just go ahead and let us know again where people can find you online, and shout out anything else you want.
Yeah, Manny Ortiz and pretty much every social media. Jessica considers me her best friend. We're like brother and sister at this point. We're pretty good friends, but we give each other a lot of crap. So if we give each other a lot of crap, it's all good fun.
Yeah, we're just joking, you guys. Like,
I don't even think we roasted each other too hard.
We were being really polite in this one.
Oh yeah, we were really polite. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I always assume the worst then.
It's okay. I appreciate a good roast.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely. And we say that for Instagram.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
But I also want to give you guys credit for doing this. For this is a lot of work, even for just being a guest. This is a lot of work. So, good work, you guys, and you guys do amazing work on Instagram as well.
I feel like he's our boss.
Yeah,
it's like you guys are doing good work. I'm impressed.
No, I think this is pretty cool. Like I don't do many podcasts, so this is pretty cool. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Manny. Seriously, you're amazing. And we loved hearing everything that you had to share with us.
So thank you to everyone for tuning in. You can follow us on YouTube and Instagram at Light Muse Podcast. And you can check out our website at lightmusepodcast.com. And until then, we will see you next time.